Isaiah chapter 16 continues the prophecy against Moab, urging the Moabite people to send a tribute to Judah in the hope of gaining favor. The chapter begins with an invitation for the people of Moab to bring lambs from the Selah region, which lies in the mountains, to the people of Judah. This offering is a gesture of submission and an attempt to form an alliance with Judah in the face of impending judgment. The Moabites are advised to seek refuge in Judah as their only hope of survival amidst the coming devastation. The chapter moves on to describe the dire situation in Moab. As Moab faces the threat of destruction, the prophet speaks of the anguish and despair of the people. The Moabites will be consumed by grief, with their cities in ruins and their lands barren. The leaders of Moab are powerless, and the land will mourn for the loss of its prosperity. The chapter presents the internal suffering of the Moabite people as they witness the collapse of their once proud nation. Their cries of sorrow are depicted as a result of their sin and rebellion against God. Isaiah then speaks of the judgment of God upon Moab, indicating that the nation's destruction is inevitable. The prophecy describes Moab's pride as a key factor in their downfall. The people of Moab had trusted in their own strength and had been self-reliant, failing to turn to God for help. This prideful attitude will be their undoing, as they will be overrun by the nations God has chosen to execute his judgment. Despite their attempts to seek protection through alliances and offerings, the judgment will come without mercy, highlighting God's justice. The chapter concludes with a vision of Moab's fate over a 3-year period, symbolizing the limited time the nation has to repent and seek refuge. Isaiah prophesies that in this time, Moab's glory will fade, and the remnant of the nation will be left in sorrow. This brief window of time will not be enough to restore Moab, as the judgment of God has already been decreed. The chapter closes with a lament over Moab's destruction, emphasizing the certainty and finality of God's judgment upon the nation for its sin and pride. Let's now read Isaiah chapter 16. Send ye the lamb to the ruler of the land from Selah to the wilderness, unto the mount of the daughter of Zion. For it shall be, that, as a wandering bird cast out of the nest, so the daughters of Moab shall be at the fords of Arnon. Take counsel, execute judgment, make thy shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday, hide the outcasts, bewray not him that wandereth. Let mine outcasts dwell with thee, Moab, be thou a covert to them from the face of the spoiler, for the extortioner is at an end, the spoiler ceaseth, the oppressors are consumed out of the land. And in mercy shall the throne be established, and he shall sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle of David, judging, and seeking judgment, and hasting righteousness. We have heard of the pride of Moab, he is very proud, even of his haughtiness, and his pride, and his wrath, but his lies shall not be so. Therefore shall Moab howl for Moab, every one shall howl, for the foundations of Kiraseth shall ye mourn, surely they are stricken. For the fields of Heshbon languish, and the vine of Sibmah, the lords of the heathen have broken down the principal plants thereof, they are come even unto Yazer, they wandered through the wilderness, her branches are stretched out, they are gone over the sea. Therefore I will bewail with the weeping of Yazer the vine of Sibmah, I will water thee with my tears, O Heshbon, and Elealeh, for the shouting for thy summer fruits and for thy harvest is fallen. And gladness is taken away, and joy out of the plentiful field, and in the vineyards there shall be no singing, neither shall there be shouting, the treaders shall tread out no wine in their presses, I have made their vintage shouting to cease. Wherefore my bowels shall sound like an harp for Moab, and mine inward parts for Kir-Haresh. And it shall come to pass, when it is seen that Moab is weary on the high place, that he shall come to his sanctuary to pray, but he shall not prevail. This is the word that the Lord hath spoken concerning Moab since that time. But now the Lord hath spoken, saying, within 3 years, as the years of an hireling, and the glory of Moab shall be contemned, with all that great multitude, and the remnant shall be very small and feeble. This ends our reading of Isaiah chapter 16.